What is going on, everybody? How are we all doing? And welcome back today to the latest episode of the FIFA 17 Manchester City Career Mode. And today we have got another huge episode for you. Some really big games today. But before we get into it, I'm going to show you the draws that have been made for the next round in the Champions League and also in the FA Cup. And while we're doing that, if you wouldn't mind, lads, it's always massively appreciated. Make sure you leave a big thumbs up on this video, show your support for the series, and also subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. But calendar-wise, you can see we've got Stoke in the first game that we're going to simulate. Then we've got Arsenal and Chelsea both in the league today, so two huge games. And you can also see we've drawn Sevilla in the next round of the Champions League, so we've got two legs against those. And then we've also, against them, that's the proper grammar. We've also got Arsenal in the next round of the FA Cup as well. So some really big games coming up. The next episode, we're going to be lining up Sevilla's first leg. We've got Arsenal and Chelsea today. The big games just keep on coming at this stage of the season. But we've got the Stoke game first. We have had about a week's rest since the last game, so the players are all fully fit, and we should be picking up 3 points, fingers crossed. So this is the game that we're going to sim, lads. We always sim 1 out of 3, and as we've got Arsenal and Chelsea, it just has to be this one that we simulate. We are at home. We have got our full strength team, and Gundogan has scored within 3 minutes, pretty much instantly. We're going to skip to the end of the game, where we actually come away with a 3-0 win. De Bruyne and Aguero also getting on the score sheet. Very unusually, Bonnie didn't score against us. I think this is the third time we've played Stoke this season. The previous 2 times, Bonnie has scored against us, which is kind of frustrating, but we pick up 3 points, which is absolutely fantastic. Perfect start to the episode. Let's jump forward to the Arsenal game. So we've arrived at the Arsenal fixture, lads, and this is the team that we're going to be going with. Pretty much full strength. We made a couple of small changes due to fitness from the last game. Vincent Kompany coming in for Jonathan Tah, who was a little bit leggy, and the same for Toni Kroos, who is coming back in for Ilkay Gundogan. Gundogan, who's been absolutely superb. It's fantastic, actually, to be at the point in his career mode where Toni Kroos isn't necessarily guaranteed to get into the starting 11. I think if we were playing a slightly lesser team, we might go with De Bruyne, Kroos and Gundogan, but we've got to show respect to Arsenal. They're a good team, we're away from home, so Fernandinho is retaining his spot in the team as a bit more defensive cover. Let's jump into the game, lads. Here we are then, lads. It's the Premier League and it's Arsenal versus Manchester City at the, I nearly said the Etihad Stadium then, at the Emirates Stadium even. Arsenal are second in the league. We're currently 14 points clear at the top, so there is a large gap there. But if we were to win this game, it's not going to be easy away from home, obviously. You can see the league table here. We would go 17 points clear with only 8 games remaining. It'd be a massive step to get in the title in nice and early, but can't underestimate Arsenal, sorry. Second in the league. We have, of course, got Bellerin playing against his former club for the first time since we signed him in the January transfer window. But as I've already mentioned, Arsenal always tough opposition, and it's going to be even more so because they're really going to be trying to get the 3 points here and closing that gap to the top of the table. Let's just get that out there now. It is also worth noting as well, of course, that Bakary Sagna is making his first appearance against us. He was, of course, part of the deal to bring Bellerin to City. We offered him as part of the deal, and this is the first time he's playing against us. But huge tackle there in De Bruyne. Could have been a foul, but we're going to play advantage. Got De Bruyne on his inside. De Bruyne's going to go back to Sane. That's great play. Come on, Leroy. What can we do here? We could do with some support we've got now. We're going to have to go alone with Sane. It's a decent effort. Oh, so close. Best chance of the game. Nearly got the rebound as well. Going to get last minute counter now before the end of the half. Sane's done really well there, actually, to bring it forward. Still Leroy Sane. It's going to be like half time. Sane had a bit of momentum going there, but it's been a pretty non-eventful half, really. I'd say we've created the better chances. That one that we had with Sane, actually, who was mentioning just, was a really, well, probably the chance of the half. Sterling, particularly, on the follow-up, couldn't put it in, unfortunately. But game a few chances. You'll see here in the stats. We've had 2 shots on, 1 on target there. We've had 2 shots, 2 on target. Arsenal had more possession, as you'd expect, but not a very exciting game whatsoever at the moment. Nice quick play from Arsenal here. They've got Sagna at the top. That's where they're going to go. If Sagna scores, then we might as well give the title away now, because how often does Bakary Sagna score, never mind against us? Christ, that's a great move. Oh, it's gone in. It's gone in. Santa Cazorla, I thought Ruddy had made an outstanding save. Well, he did make an outstanding save, actually, in off the crossbar, but this football here, I think it's Kompany that's playing him on, you know. It's really poor, because I actually thought he was offside at first, but he gets on the end of his own shot, taps it in. We need to get back into this game. It's one of those games where I don't necessarily mind if we don't win, but I don't want us to lose. It's a make sure we don't lose game rather than a make sure we win it. Aguero's got tons of space here. Penalty? How is that not a penalty? Sane still going though. De Bruyne. Let's just crack on with De Bruyne. Oh, it's a good save by Czech. I don't know how that wasn't a penalty on Aguero. It just looked like he got chopped down from behind to me. We've got an injury. Oh no, and it's to Sergio Aguero, who went down in that challenge earlier where I thought it could have been a penalty, and it turns out he has been injured. Iheanacho needs to step up to the plate here. That could be a huge blow for the end of the season now if that's a long-term injury. I'm going to drop that off to the edge. Space in between the lines here. Kalichi, what a run that is straight away. And Kalichi, he is onside for a second. I did this last episode, I think. I thought he was offside. The two substitutes instantly linking up there because Gundogan played it to Sterling. He played it to Cruz. I mean, was Gundogan that involved? Really, not really, I suppose. But Kalichi, straight off the bench, and with his first two touches, puts the ball in the back of the net. Superb stuff. Bellerin's made a great overlapping run there. Go on, Hector. Can we drop that off to the edge? We can. One more across. We're banging this, lads. Oh, open goal. Oh, no way have we not scored there in the end. Sane's got a lot of space at the top there. Leroy Sane, can we win it here? Sane. Oh, it's a great save by Cech. We could have won the game right there. I'm taking him down. I'm going to be booked for it, but it's worth it. It's a horrible challenge, but 90th minute, it's Bellerin. He's seen red for it. Bellerin sent off against his former club. It was the 90th minute. I didn't want to risk getting counted on. Oh, I was willing to take a booking. I didn't think he'd send him off. I didn't think that was a thing this year on FIFA. It's a professional foul, don't get me wrong, but just didn't expect to get sent off there. Let's make sure we don't throw this away now. We've got a good point on our hands. And there is the 4-time whistle, lads. It's a really good result as far as I'm concerned at the Emirates. They're, of course, chasing us down at the top of the table. We maintain that 14-point gap that we have got at the top. And like I say, I think that's a really, really good result. We could have actually gone on to win it. There were some good chances for Sane and for... who else missed a good chance? Was it Sane that missed two? I can't remember now. But played really well. Just a shame about that Bellerin red card at the end. Perhaps could have got away without that, but... I just didn't want us to get counter-attacked. You never know. If we hadn't done that, we could have been sat here with a 2-1 defeat. But 1-1 draw as it stands. Let's jump forward to the next game against Chelsea. And there is some pretty bad news, actually, lads, regarding that Aguero injury. He's going to be out for 4 weeks, and with only sort of 8 games remaining of the season, that's pretty much probably half of the remaining games that we got left that he's going to miss. And obviously, Aguero is a massive, massive player for us. So Iheanacho is going to have to step up. And this is exactly what we bought in Tevez for this kind of situation where we can have him on the bench now as decent backup. And here we are, lads, at the third and final game of today's episode. We're away in London once again. Chelsea away it is this time. And I've tinkered with the team a slight bit, mainly due to the injury and the suspension of Bellerin and Aguero. So Iheanacho, he's taking the lead at the top of the team. Hopefully, he can be just as effective as he was when he came off the bench in that last game. And Zabaleta coming in at right back. Hector Bellerin only suspended for the 1 game, I think. So he'll only have to fill in there for the 1 match. But other than that, we've only made one other change, actually thinking about it, which is bringing in Cruz and Gundogan into the same team. So Fernandinho has been dropped. The reason being is because Chelsea... currently sitting in 7th or 8th place in the league. They're not doing quite as well as they'd like to be doing, I'm sure. And I feel we can take advantage of that. So Fernandinho's coming off. We're going a bit more attacking. And hopefully we're going to take the game to Chelsea. And fingers crossed, pick up all 3 points here. Also, worth pointing out, lads, that Kevin De Bruyne is now a 90 rated player. Absolutely unbelievable. Now, definitely in there with the world's elite players rated in the 90s. You don't see many of those. Here we are then, lads. We're at Stamford Bridge away against Chelsea. Like I said, it's 2 games in a row that we've been in the capital of England. We played Arsenal at the Emirates now just travelling up the road to the Stamford Bridge. Like I said, Chelsea, a team that aren't doing anywhere near as well as they'd like to be. And I believe they're sitting in 7th place. They've got a much changed team, if I remember correctly. They've made lots of signings and clearly it has not worked for the better. Mikel leading them out. And fingers crossed, like I say, we've been a bit more offensive in this game, being a bit more gutsy with our lineup. Hopefully, we can see the rewards of that and hopefully pick up all 3 points. Here is the Chelsea lineup then, lads. As we know, the signed Aubameyang. It's a very good team on paper, actually. I mean, you look at the players. Hazard, Aubameyang. You've got the likes of Fabregas still in there. Very strong team. No European. That really is quite questionable why they are struggling so much this season. They're currently in 8th place. They have recovered a lot from when they were down in sort of 15th, 16th. But still, you'd think they'd be challenging for the title, wouldn't you? But fingers crossed we can pick up 3 points. I'm really hoping Iheanacho can impress. Now he's been forced into the spotlight. Fingers crossed. Let's get into it, lads. Another it's off to the edge. It's Gundogan. He's got a good shot on his locker. Should we pop one? It's deflected. And we're going to get a corner from it. It's a decent block in here, but it looked for a second like that could have completely wrong-footed Courtois. Sane. Gundogan. De Bruyne. Going to have to go back. Chelsea really are set up like a hard-to-beat team. They've got the back four, and then they've got the midfielder sitting in front of it, so you have to get between the lines, like we're going to try and do now. Gundogan. Oh, Kalichi! We pounced on an error by the Chelsea defence. If that's the kind of mistakes they've been making, no wonder they've been struggling. I was just describing how they're set up to be hard to beat, and then they give us an absolute gift. It's Ike Iheanacho as well, coming into the team for the injured Aguero, who does the job. Look at that, it's a really poor touch. I think that might be Azpilicueta there, I'm not entirely sure. But we pick it off him, and then Kalichi finishes on his weaker foot with his right across the keeper into the corner, and we take a 1-0 lead at the bridge. Superb stuff, lads. Kalichi, keep on making that run. Kalichi could be in here. He is in here. Oh, we've completely screwed the shot there on his stronger foot this time, and he's nowhere near, ironically. Great chance. De Bruyne picked him out. Completely cuts across it far too much. Not really cleared it very well at all. It is half-time though, thankfully, because we were struggling to deal with that. Chelsea were looking after the ball really well there, but we're 1-0 up. In control of the game to an extent, but Chelsea is still well in it. You can see why they're struggling really, because I'll show you actually. They've got a great attacking force, so when you look at the back, they've got TK at right back, no idea who he is. Martinez, who's a well-rated centre-back, but he's not got the most pace. Manolas sort of makes up for that, and then Azpilicueta. I just think that right-hand side of their defence, Martinez and Kane, is pretty weak, to be honest. But half-time, we're 1-0 up, we're managing the game well. Let's just keep this up, jump into the second half. As always at this point in the episodes, lads, camera's dying, so forgive me when that runs out. Come on. Oh, I thought we were going to get a toe in then in a great little position. I've got David Silva coming off the bench now, but we need to be careful. Not long left to go. William bringing it forward. And he's poured on back for Chelsea. It's 1-1. There's not long left to go at all. That's kind of devastating, to be honest. It's been a game of very few chances. We scored from a Chelsea mistake. It's a pretty legitimate goal from Chelsea. There's no mistake there. I don't think there's much more the defence could have done. Just a really good ball. Willian strikes it again across Ruddy. And Willian's been one of the best players on the pitch, to be honest. He's kept Sane really quiet. And we're struggling to break Chelsea down. But it's been a pretty dull game, and it's now 1-1. That's great defending. Zabaleta stopping the counter there at the end of the game. Oh god, Aubameyang though versus John Stones. Stones is a good defender. It's the 90th minute, and Aubameyang has still got that pace for days. He's picked out Willian. Oh my god, we've thrown it away in the last 10 minutes. Aubameyang's pace key. And can I just throw you back to the Arsenal game? They were running down the left hand side in the 90th minute. We brought him down and got Bellerin sent off, and that's why. Maybe we should have done the same again. They were bringing it forward. It's Willian at the double. Oh, it's been such a close game. I don't think Chelsea deserved to win it. Rulli could have done nothing. And this is looking like an episode where in the games that I've played, we're going to draw one and lose one, unfortunately. 2 very trips away in London. Aubameyang there, key to the goal. Rapid pace down the wing. And William meets at the back stick. That is a heartbreaker. David Silva to bring it forward. And oh my god, as soon as we kick off, it's the end of the game. And we're only going to be taking 1 point out of 2 games in the capital city. A draw against Arsenal and a loss against Chelsea. It's not the end of the world. The lead at the top of the table is still 11 points, I believe. But before we start taking anything for granted, we need to get across the line. It's not been a great episode. Thankfully, we did get the win at Stoke in the first game that we simmed. But that is really disappointing. At 1-0, we look comfortable, and Chelsea have just snatched 2 goals late on. And we're leaving London with nothing in this game. You can see statistically we've had 7 shots, Chelsea have had 4, and have only had 2 on target and scored them both. I think really we may as well just chalk this one into a bit of bad luck, because we did not deserve to lose that game whatsoever. So here's the league table, lads, to end off the episode. You can see we've played 31 games. We are 11 points clear at the top of the table. There's essentially 21 points left to play for, so we need 3 wins and a draw, or basically 4 wins to guarantee the title. You'd think we'd be able to do it. That's worst case scenario as well, assuming Arsenal pick up all possible points essentially. But unless we massively bottle this, we should have the league pretty much sewn up. But like I say, the last couple of episodes we've not been completely convincing. We really do need to get across the line. Today I think we were just a bit unlucky. It was a good performance against Arsenal and not a bad result in that game. But in the Chelsea match, I really do think we were hard done to not to pick up all 3 points, or at least a point at Stamford Bridge. Thankfully, we have got a bit of light relief in the next episode. I've already shown you the fixtures, but I'll just remind you, we have of course played Arsenal and Chelsea in this episode. And if you look back at last month, we've had some really tough fixtures in the likes of Liverpool twice, Spurs, Man United. Now we've got a little bit of a nice run. We've got Hull coming up next. We of course have got Sevilla then, and then we've got Southampton and Middlesbrough in the league. So league games wise, we really have got a chance to sew it up, because if you beat Hull, Southampton and Middlesbrough, 3 games to expect us to win, assuming Arsenal were to drop just 1 game, that would secure the league title. But that's going to be for in the next episode, in the episode after that. Once again, lads, make sure to leave a big thumbs up on this video if you did enjoy it. That's wrapping up this one. I will speak to you all in tomorrow's video. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Nidge out.
Nidge plays with big games and player reviews are getting insane. He entertains while he elevates. His video quality resonates. On career mode, he got lots of vids uploading off and he's rocking it. He's got the confidence in all his commentaries. Videos range, they often vary. Got need for speed and a road to glory. Just watching vids and you know the story. The content is underrated, I'm understating, so don't ignore the like and subscribe button to support the channel that keeps running. It takes 1 second, like it's free, it costs nothing. Peace.